Good morning and welcome to Quality Online Teaching and Learning with Canvas here at Skyline College. You previously listened to an introduction to the course by my co-facilitator Chris, and this is Bianca, and during this screencast I'm going to show you how to navigate the Canvas course which you gained access to today. So I have my screen here and we are looking at the home page. And you'll notice that the title of the course is at the top. There is some navigation here on the left-hand side, and this is the front page of the course. And on the right-hand side, this is called the activity area. So this is the area that's going to highlight assignments that you have by each unit per week. So for example, there are some discussions that are coming up toward the end of the week, and those are appearing for you right here on the right-hand side. So, being that this is your first time in the course, the first place you're going to go is this green button right here, which says Start Here, which takes you to our very first unit, Unit 0, okay? So, on this page, a couple interesting things to highlight. So, the very first area, the page content is offered in what we call tabs. So as you're clicking through materials, you want to make sure that you go through all the tabs. So for example, the first tab here is the overview, and there's the audio file from Chris, and the video that I'm doing right now will essentially be right there. And the course objectives are always listed at the bottom of the page. Each unit begins with a course overview page and then takes off from there. So in this case, in Unit 0, you've got your overview video. The second tab is Meet Your Facilitators, which has contact information for Chris and I. And then the third tab is computer readiness information and info about your Canvas sandbox. So one of the things to highlight before clicking away from this is you want to make sure that you've hit all of the tabs across the page. And there's actually a little reminder down here which tells you to check all the tabs before you continue. So in Canvas, you can move through the material in a couple different ways. And one of the ways that is most easy is to use the Next button inside of the module. And by doing so, that brings you to the next page, which has some online course netiquette content in it, and you can read over that later. And as I'm scrolling down the page, on the right-hand side, you'll notice now that not only do you have a Next button, but you have a Previous button right here on the left. If I click Previous, it takes me back to the overview page where we just were, and if I click Next, it takes me to the discussion, which is one of the very first things that you guys will do in this course is the discussion, which is doing some introductions. Of course, I'm going to cough in the middle of this. I'm sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat. Okay, so other ways to navigate the course in Canvas that I want to make sure that you highlight. In this left side navigation, there is always a Home button, which brings you back to the very first page of the course. Other places that you can go are the course syllabus, which is right here. The course syllabus is available, and then there's also a version of the syllabus available for downloads. But after you finish Module 0, which is what we'll be doing this week, the easiest place to get through the content that you're supposed to move through would be by selecting modules themselves. And you'll notice inside of Unit, Getting Started, these are all of the content areas that you're going to go through this week. So there's the overview page that we went through previously. There's the course netiquette, the first discussion, and there's some other things in here, the readiness quiz, a little bit of content, some other discussions, and then each unit also includes what's called a resources, takeaways, and handouts page. So let's click on that just for a moment so that we can make sure we have that. Okay, so at the end of every unit, all of the Canvas resources that were referenced in the content and on pages in the unit will all be on this takeaway page, as well as any other resources that were referenced throughout the unit. So do you remember that netiquette picto chart that we saw? That picto chart is available right here, as well as some other articles that you're going to go through in the content area. If I select Next, through the button. One of the other things that's also included in every unit is this questions and answers board. So we want to know, how are you doing? Questions, comments, any feedback that you have for us, any content that didn't make sense, any questions that you have that are specific to this unit. We really, really want to make sure that you use this board, because any question that you have, 9 times out of 10, somebody else has got that question too. And lastly, in every unit includes a what's next page. So you get to know where we're going in the next unit. And in this case, after Unit 0, the very first next unit is Unit 1. And it's a whole unit about introduction to Canvas and all of the various features. So I think that about sums up our short video on navigating the course. We look forward to being in contact with you soon. Have fun and enjoy.